We're going to go over how to measure your call outcomes and conversation outcomes in Salesforce. So, of the calls that your reps are making, what's happening to those calls? Are they getting a lot of voicemails or wrong numbers or just speaking to a lot of gatekeepers? But please note that this is heavily dependent on how you have your call dispositions structured and how you're coaching your reps to using them. So if you're using a service like Orem, then just make sure that you have the right dispositions mapped to the appropriate causes so that it can log automatically. So from there, you can double click on the connected calls and see what's happening in those conversations. If you have call dispositions mapped to objections, then it's way easier to just narrow down to a coaching opportunity. For example, if a rep's getting a lot of connected calls, but logging a lot of objection, asked to send info dispositions, they might need coaching on effectively opening the call or using the appropriate value proposition for the appropriate persona. These are a few levers to help you build a guac star team. So let's jump into it. So if you're using something like high velocity sales, then you can go ahead and search for the sales engagement portion in your setup menu and enable that, and then go into the dialer and enable your call results. Essentially what this is doing is taking advantage of a lot of the standard fields that are already in Salesforce. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead into the object manager and create a new field under the activity portion. This is going to be a formula field, and essentially what we're looking to do is bucket the different types of call outcomes based on certain parameters inside of the call task. So if you have your call dispositions logged anywhere else, you can pull from those fields, but what we're doing is we're going to pull from the subject field those call dispositions, and then if the type is a call, then we're going to go ahead and bucket based on the different call outcomes that we're looking to report on. So I'll go ahead and include this formula in the description below. And once you apply it, then we can go ahead and measure on it. Awesome. So now we're in the reports, and we're going to create a task and events report, and we're going to add a couple filters to it. So first, we're going to make sure that the date is set for all time. We want to make sure that these are completed tasks, and we want to make sure that the type of task is a call. Once we do that, let's jump over to the outline portion, and we're going to group our tasks by two fields. So the assigned, so the grouping it by the reps that are completing the task, and then also by the call outcome. So saying, hey, for each rep, what was the number of outcomes from each of the calls? Once we do that, let's create a formula, and this is going to be let us know what percentage of their calls resulted in which outcome. So we're going to make this percentage. We're going to add the row count, and we're going to divide that by the call outcomes for each assigned rep. We're also going to have to display it to apply to specific groups. So the specific group we want to display it as or towards is the call outcomes. Validate it, apply it, save and run the report. Call it maybe call outcomes. Save it. And then we're going to go ahead and edit, and we're going to create a new report off of this. And really what we're going to do is add one more filter for just the calls that were connected. Essentially what this is going to tell us is, hey, of the calls that were connected with a prospect, what were the outcomes that were resulted in those conversations? Go ahead and save it, and then we're going to go ahead and add this to our dashboard. So now we're on to the dashboards, and we're going to add two components for the two reports that we just created. So starting with the call outcomes report, we're going to display it as a table. We're going to add two groups, the assigned and the call outcomes. And then we're going to add a measured column for the call outcomes as well. We're going to sort it by the record count in its ascending order, add that component, get it on the dashboard, and then we're going to do the exact same thing for the conversation outcomes. We're going to add that one on there, same tabular view, same rows, same measured columns, same sorting. Add it on your dashboard, and now you've got a killer sales development dashboard, and you're ready to rock out with your Brock out.